What is up, YouTubers? This is Garamsythe again. I got my Darkworld deck. Pure Darkworlds, except for like Morphing Jar. But yeah. Basically, I just got 3 of the starter deck and went from there, added in a few staple cards, and made the Darkworld deck. Not much to say, and it does really well. It's inconsistent a lot of the times, but when it pulls it off, it rapes face. Alright, we got 3 Grapha, Lord of Darkworld, or Dragon Lord of Darkworld, 2700 beater. When he's discarded by an effect, you get to destroy a card on the field, and then while he's in the graveyard, you can return any other Dark monster to your hand, Darkworld monster to your hand, and special summon him from the graveyard. So he practically never goes away. Really amazing dragon card. 3 of Snow. She's brilliant. When she's discarded, you get to search your deck for a Darkworld card. That could be Darkworld Lightning, the Gates of Darkworld, any of the Darkworld monsters. You get to search your deck for a Darkworld card. So, keeps your hand up. Sylvia, 2300 attack. When he's discarded, you get to special summon him. When he's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you get to special summon him, and then your opponent puts 2 cards from his hand to the bottom of his deck. That's pretty amazing when your opponent discards him. And got gold, kind of the same thing as Silva, except he destroys 2 cards. 2 Brawn, when he does battle damage, you get to discard a card if you want. So I attack with him, and then I discard a gold and special summon, or I discard a Snow and search, or a Grapha and destroy. And then return him and summon Grapha back. You got 3 Cerulees. He's amazing. He is, whenever he's discarded, he special summons to your opponent's side, so then he counts as your opponent's card, and then he makes you discard a card. So I would discard Silva, or gold, and go from there. He makes the opponent's discard effect go off. Great card, great card. Gores, because the deck is inconsistent, if I need something to back me up, I got a Gores out. Morphing Jar, because you're stupid not throwing a Morphing Jar in a Darkworld deck. Set him, your opponent attacks him, he flips, you both discard your entire hand and then draw 5. So if I'm loaded with these Darkworld monsters, I discard them all. Bad things happen. Beige, whenever he's discarded, he special summons. No other effect than that. I like him at 1. Scar, the Japanese run 1 of him in their builds, so I decided why not, let's be like the Japanese. If he's destroyed by battle, you get to add a level 4 or lower Darkworld monster from your deck to your hand. Not bad. And 2 Brow, if he's discarded, I get to draw a card. If he's discarded by opponent's card effect, I get to draw 2 cards. Then we got the Field card. It's fairly new. Sorry about that. It says all Fiend monsters gain 300 attack and defense, so it makes Graph with 3k, strong as a Blue Eyes, which is pretty sweet. Then its other effect says I get to banish a Fiend monster from my graveyard, discard a card, and then draw a card, which is pretty epic. I get to discard my Grapha to destroy something, then draw, then return my other Darkworld monster and summon Grapha. And then Grapha's at 3k now. We got a card destruction, because you're stupid not throwing this in a Darkworld deck, just like Morphing Jar, except a magic card. And then you don't draw 5, you draw the same amount you discarded. Darkworld Lightning, target 1 face down card on the field, destroy it, and then discard a card. If you target a face down back row, they can be chainable, and they chain it, such as Mystical Space Typhoon, or a continuous trap or something that could go face up, then it can't be destroyed because it's not face down. That's its ruling, at least. So then you don't even get to discard. So most of the time you want to go for face down monsters with this thing. You got a Allure of Darkness for the draw power. Draw 2, banish a dark monster from your hand. Staple lineup, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole Monster Reborn. Staple 2 MST. Then for the trap cards, Depth Amulet stays up on the field for 3 of your opponent's turns, like Swords does. Whenever your opponent declares an attack, you can discard a card to negate the attack, and that's not considered a cost, so it's a card effect. So these guys still get it off. And the Dark World's another thing with the Dark Worlds. If you discard for, say, Lightning Vortex or something like that, that's a cost, and they won't get their effects because they have to be discarded by a card effect, not a card cost. So this makes them discarded by a card effect, and that's the ruling on it. The way it's worded, it sounds like it's a cost, but it happens in the resolution of the effect, so it is in fact the effect and not a cost. So they attack, I negate the attack, discard Grapho, destroy something. It works like that. It's amazing. 2 compulsory evacuation device, return any monster on the field to the hand. Solemn Judgment, staple, negate anything. 2 Mind Crush. I get to declare 1 card name, and if my opponent has that card in his hand, he discards it. If they don't, then I get to discard. So if I know they have something in their hand that I don't want them to have, I can make them discard it, Or I can be stupid and say, like, do you have a Metabat in your hand? They'll be like, no, and then I get to discard my Grapha and do bad things. I love it. It's great all around. And then Torrential Tribute, whenever something's summoned, Dark Holes everything. And that's my Dark World build. Still need to play with it a few times, but I like it. Pure Dark Worlds, no extra deck, no side deck, just the main deck itself. Pretty fun to play with. A few times I hasn't let me down yet. It is inconsistent though, but Gores helps that. So does Morphing Jar and Card Destruction. Really fun deck, really fun deck. Sometimes I wish I put Tears in this deck instead of my Banish Arc deck, but because I can use these guys and make a Tears off the bat. Yeah. Pretty swell. I like it. Tell me what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Over and out.